Hello and welcome to this flight from Zurich to Frankfurt. We are standing at gate Bravo 31 with an Airbus A320 from Swiss. So let's start with some general information about the departure and the arrival airports. Hello and welcome to this flight from Zurich to Frankfurt. We are standing at gate Bravo. So we have here the AIP of Zurich from December 2023, and let's see the most important information, or let's say the interesting information. So we have two CTRs, the main CTR reaching up to 4,500 feet above main sea level, and the CTR2 in the south of the airport reaching up to 5,500 feet, both airspace classification Delta. Then several missed approach procedures conflict with SIDs in the immediate climb-out area, and pilots to be aware of movements on the crossing runway for situation awareness, listen out on tau frequency also for calls affecting traffic on other runways, and visually scan the area around the runways during takeoff, landing and crossing. Then for the transponder, aircraft operators intending to use Zurich Airport shall ensure that most Mode Sierra transponders are able to operate when aircraft is on ground, transmitting Mode Sierra's quitter and replying to Mode Sierra addressed interrogation only. And furthermore, flight crews shall ensure that the transponder is set and transmitting the assigned mode alpha code. For departures, which affects us, latest when startup and or pushback clearance is received by apron control. And for Mode Sierra aircraft identifications, flight crews of aircraft with Mode Sierra transponders being able to manually set an aircraft identification shall set their aircraft identification as specified in item 7 of the filed ATC flight plan. For departures, this means latest when startup and or pushback clearance is received by apron control. The aircraft identification shall be set. Then in case we have to come back to the airport after takeoff, we'll probably land on runway 14, and there we have the following information to ensure minimum runway occupancy occupancy time. Pilots are reminded to vacate runway via taxiway Hotel 1 whenever possible, or as instructed by ATC. If we get runway 28, vacating runway 16 or 34 only with ATC clearance, vacating to the south via taxiway Foxtrot only with ATC clearance. And for runway 34, when landing on the runway 34, expedite to cross intersection runway 28 to enable departure. Preferred exit via taxiway Echo 4 or later. Have a look on the ground chart. So Echo 4 would be here when we land on runway 34. And Echo 6 only with ATC clearance, so Echo 6, this one only if, which is actually not possible for us. Then ATC will consider every aircraft at the holding point as able to commence lineup and takeoff immediately after clearance is issued. Pilots not ready when reaching the holding point shall advise ATC as early as possible. And here The aircraft has to be rolling within 10 seconds after reception of ATC of takeoff clearance. Pilots unable to comply with these requirement shall notify ATC preferably before entering the runway. Then departure clearance may be obtained from Zurich delivery through Skyguide data link departure through Skyguide DCL service or by voice. Use of DCL should be preferred over voice whenever practicable. DCL service is operated by the same ATC controller as Zurich delivery. Then when requesting the departure clearance, we shall transmit the following information: the call sign as filed in the flight plan, aircraft type, ident letter of the received departure ATIS, parking stand, and if we would be unable for the standard departure runway. Then for the APU, primarily the stationary airport pneumatic and electric service units shall be used. Alternatively, mobile units shall be used. For the approaches, the descent shall be arranged so as to maintain en route configuration for as long as possible, taking safety and ATC requirements into consideration. Speed reduction and extension of landing gear and high lift devices are to be planned in such a way that the landing configuration is established and the correct up speed is reached shortly prior to or at 4 miles final. Then reverse thrust, more than idle reverse, shall not be used except for safety reasons. Then departure procedure, if possible, a rolling takeoff shall be executed. The engine power shall be increased only after entering the departure runway. Climb with maximum climb gradient to 4,500 feet. Use the high lift devices takeoff configuration and takeoff power reduction to climb power at 2,900 feet. So I think that's it for the... No, here there's one again here. So this would actually just be for arrival, so it's not important for us. Okay, it's also normally for arriving traffic. But that's it for Zurich. Now let's do the same for Frankfurt. We have here the AIP from November 2023. So the CTR reaches up to 1,500 feet above mean sea level and is also aircraft airspace class Delta. Transition altitude is 5,000 feet. So landing direction 25 is the preferred direction assigned to landing aircraft, provided the tailwind component does not exceed 5 knots. When changing frequency from Langen Radar to Frankfurt Director, the initial call shall be restricted to Frankfurt Director and call sign and the wake turbulence category if different to M, which we are, to avoid frequency congestion. When being transferred from approach control to aerodrome control, the initial call shall consist of Frankfurt Tower, call sign, type of approach and the runway. Pilots are reminded to plan and aim the rapid exit taxiway during the approach briefing, to vacate the runway as quickly as possible to allow for the highest possible throughput per hour, to adjust taxi speed after touchdown when it is evident that the aircraft will miss the planned rapid exit taxiway. Then we have the preferred turnoff and distance from thresholds to high-speed turnoffs. So for medium jets on runway 25 left and 25 right, which we expected would be Mike 17, respectively Papa 16. Let's also have a look on the charts. No, 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 then it must be here. That's a Mike 17 for runway 25 left. So we have runway 25 left and where you have Mike 17. Mike 17 would be this one here. And for runway 16, runway 25 right, I'm sorry, is Papa 16. Can't actually find it here. See again. Yes, Papa 16, 25 right. That is strange. Let's see on the other chart. Mm. Ah, I'm sorry, this is 25 center, of course. No, 25 right is here, so that was my mistake. So 25 right, and here we have Papa 16 exit. Good. Then continue. Pilots wishing to use Frankfurt Airport shall ensure that the mode Sierra transponders can operate when the aircraft is on ground. Pilot shall select the assigned mode alpha code as well as the mode Sierra call sign and set the transponder to auto or on. For the request for pushback or taxing, whichever is later. Okay. So in this situation, pilot shall set the transponder to auto or on from the request to pushback or taxi, whichever is earlier, continuously after landing until the aircraft is fully parked on the stand. So that's the important one for us. When the aircraft is fully parked on stand, standby shall be selected. Okay. Sorry. To ensure that the performance of systems which are based on SSR frequencies is not compromised, TCAS should not be activated before reaching the runway holding position. After landing, TCAS shall be deactivated after vacating the runway. So we will do this anyway. Reverse thrust must not be used on the entire runway system of Frankfurt Main Airport except for safety reasons in unavoidable cases. This does not apply to idle reverse thrust. Here, when taxiing into the aircraft stands, aircraft shall generally not stop in the curves between the center line of apron taxiways or aircraft stand taxi lanes and the center line of aircraft stands to avoid so as to avoid the further appliance of breakaway power. Okay. And here for flight and descent flight purpose, expect the following levels at the transfer points from Langen ACC to Frankfurt approach. So we will approach via Spessart, so between flight level 120 and flight level 100. It's for Frankfurt now. Let's have a look on the actual flight plan for today. Here. So our flight number is Swiss 1706. As I said, we fly from Zurich to Frankfurt with an Airbus A320, the Hotel Bravo Juliet Lima Sierra. The ATC call sign is Swiss 2 Lima Mike. Planned departure time is 18:30 Zulu. We have quite a strong wind from the northwest. Our takeoff weight is quite high. We are above max landing weight, and we will land with the max allowed landing weight. Then our cruising level is planned. Our planned cruising level is flight level 240. We take some more fuel due to weather. Then the planned departure route is Steges 3 Whiskey and on runway 28, and we plan for a Spessart. We have planned for a Spessart for Bravo arrival to runway 25 left in Frankfurt. We have max shears of 6, which is, as far as I know, which is medium turbulences. And we have max shears, we have max shears at the top of descent. The first occurrence is at the top of climb, sorry. So we have a maximum shears of 6, and the first occurrence is at the top of climb. Then for the weather, between 12 and 19 Zulu. So first let's start with the weather at Zurich. Between 12 and 19 Zulu, we have temporarily wind of 300 knots with 18. We have wind 300 knots. No, sorry. Again. Weather for Zurich. Between 12 o'clock and 19 Zulu, we expect temporarily wind of 300 degrees, 18 knots, gusts 300. Sorry, again. Weather for Zurich, between 12 and 19 Zulu, we expect wind 300 degrees, 18 knots, gusts 30 knots, showers of rain, and scattered towering cumulus at 2,500 feet. And with a probability of 30, we expect temporarily between 12 and 18 Zulu visibility of 3 kilometers with with not sure what TS is. Um, let's see. Thunderstorm. TS is thunderstorm, and GS is yeah, for something like frost. So thunderstorm and frost. So we'll probably activate the engine anti-ice. And scattered at 800 feet with cumulus clouds. Cumulus nimbus, so we cumulus nimbus clouds here. And at Frankfurt, we have becoming between 17 and 19 Zulu wind. And at Frankfurt, we have and in Frankfurt between 17 and 19 Zulu, the wind will become 240 degrees 12 knots, and with a probability of 30, between 18 and 20 Zulu, we will have temporary showers of rain and broken clouds broken at. Let's do it again, the full. So in Zurich, we expect strong wind, showers of rain, and towering cumulus at 2,500 feet between 12 and 19 Zulu. And with a probability of 30, we also expect between 12 and 18 Zulu a visibility of only 3 kilometers, thunderstorm, and the cumulus nimbus at 800 feet. In Frankfurt, we expect also quite strong wind between 17 and 19 Zulu, and also with a probability of 30, we expect between 18 and 20 Zulu showers of rain and the cumulus nimbus at 2000 feet. At our alternate, which is Stuttgart, we expect also strong wind between 17 and 19 Zulu. That's it for the flight plan. Now let's go to the cockpit. We have already done the walk around, respectively we will want to do the work around, the walk around in this example flight. Let's start by looking at the engine master switches and the engine mode selector. Both or all of them are off, respectively normal. Then the weather radar and the predictive wind shear is off. We have gain at call, multiscan auto. We move the CGS to off, which we cannot do here, okay. And the tilt we move to approximately 7 degrees up. And the mode selector is on VX plus T, which is correct. Then let's go here to see landing gear lever is down, that's good. And then continue on the can actually do it over here. The wipers are both off, that's also good. We have a battery of at least 27.5 on both sides, so we can activate the batteries. And we see here ground power, external power is available, so let's switch on external power. Good. Now let's already do the APU fire test, but we won't, will not yet start the APU. We have to wait until the system is fully started before we can do the test. It's not yet ready. Okay, now we can do the test. Not yet. Okay, we don't hear anything yet. Let's just wait a bit. Now it works, so we hear the sound. We see the master warning light, we see the fire extinguisher push button, we see the other light, and we can actually also check in the eCam. We have the APU fire warning here in the eCam, so that seems all to be good. We'll wait with starting the APU. We'll delay the start of the APU because we have currently external power connected. But, switch on APU bleed already and set the temperatures here as we want. We just leave them as they are. And we also switch on the packs here. No, that does not yet work. So let's leave this here. Good. Then we have the lights, respectively the cockpit lights. They seem to be okay as far as I can see, so we can leave them. They are, make a bit brighter here. Maybe that seems to be good. Then eCam recall. Okay, that's good. So now let's see the engine page. We have 17.5, that's good. Hydraulic is in the green band for all three systems. And we have enough oxygen on board. That's good as well. Then we have the speed brakes are disarmed and retracted, and the flaps are in position 1 plus F, which corresponds to the display here, so that's also good. And we have here the accumulator pressure, which is a bit low, so let's switch on the electric pump. Now to move it back to the green band, now it's good again, and we can switch off the electric pump again. No. And we have set the parking brake. Good. Now let's continue here. MCDU. This one here. Init. Here our flight now. Now how does this work again? I think we have to enter the departure. No, init data request. No, now we have our flight here. Then initialization required. Here. Let's compare this with our flight plan. 6100, which is correct. Taxi fuel 115. Here, correct. Trip fuel 2346, which is also correct. And the standard time of departure 1830, which is also correct. And okay, we must change this. Let's see the current time. 1845. Okay. No. Okay, let's correct here the date. It's 17. Okay. Mm, mm, let's save this in. Mm, mm. So we have received two messages now. One for the slot confirmation 18:30 UTC with no delay and 11 minutes taxi time. And the second one is the load sheet, which we will need later. Clean up here a bit for the moment. Don't need this one here. Good. Let's leave this one. So good. And go here. Um, fuel. Hmm. I'm not sure how this works now. Thing. No. No. Not sure if fueling. Ah, okay. Fueling is in progress now, as we can see here. So that's good. We can continue with the preliminary cockpit, or with the cockpit preparation. So cruise supply on, then ground power on, speakers to down here. Mm, this one on to int. And now let's make the cockpit voice recorder test, which works. That's fine. Can move this up again. Then we have the evacuation. We move to captain and purser. And here nav, nav, nav. Then auto. That's good. Smoking, auto, seatbelt signs. Can move to on. Running elevation auto. Let's check this on the authorization page. I think yes, landing elevation auto. That's good. Probe window heat. Not required. But let's. I think that comes later here. No, this one can actually leave it as it is for the moment because we have not yet started the APU. Then we have Gen 1 and 2 off, or full, that's normal. And let's test the battery to the... No, that's not this one. Page, so switch off the battery and switch on. And ensure that it's below 60 amperes within 10 seconds, which was by far the case. Then starting the engine, the fuel pumps. Mode selector is normal, that's good. And we also do the engine fire tests. That's all good. Let's also check the... Let's do it again. So we have the fire push button, we have the squib and dish light, we have the master warning, we have the message on the eCam, and also the engine master switch is red. The same for the right there, right engine. Also here we have the fire push button is red. We have the dish and the script light. We have the master warning push button. We have the message on the eCam and the engine master switch which is red. The red light on the master on the engine master switch. And that's all good. Difficult sometimes. So here that's normal, that's good. And also here everything looks good. And if we go further up, activate this one here. Oh. Then the next one is the standby instruments. That looks good so far. We have the time, which is correct, 17:55. And we have the anti-skid nose wheel steering is on. So that's all good. Then the next one will be down here. Let's start with the, or continue with the audio control panel. We can set the delivery frequency here. actually here. No, it's not displayed here, so maybe here. Delivery 121.93. Come on. So we have here the VHF1. We have no light here on the nav, so that's good. Let's here activate VHF2 as well for listening. That's good. Now the test for the cockpit door. Oh, I'm sorry. Not that I wanted to do actually. Come on. So now let's see up here. We have the three lights here, and actually we can look here. We also have the open and the fold light on the cockpit door. Let's move the button back to bright. Do a quick test with unlock and lock. Is also okay. We don't do the full we don't do the door test as it's done in real here. It'd be too complicated, I think. Then let's move to the second row. Switching panel. All switches are on normal, which is good. Then the thrust levers are on idle. Again here, engine master switch and then mode selector are normal and off. And also parking brake is set, and nose wheels, no, not the gravity tier extension handle is stowed. Then the right side, let's put in here 1.1.5, which is already set, so that's correct with VHF2. No green light here. Let's also activate VHF1, VHF2 here actually. For speaking. Then here, this is on standby. Yes, we have system 1 and we have alt reporting on, that's good. We have TCAS on standby and we can move this actually to above already as we will be departing. Good, then we can now go to the MCDU like this. Or let's do it not here but here. So first data, status. So yeah, we don't care about this for this flight now. Actually the database has expired already, but we will use it anyway. So we have the correct aircraft type, aircraft Airbus A320-200, and also the engines are correct. Then init page, we actually loaded the flight plan from SimBrief. So we have Zurich to Frankfurt, Stuttgart alternate, Swiss 2 Lima Mike, cost index of 40. Let's just make sure that it corresponds to the flight plan. So cost index 40, that's good. Flight level 240. Then we have ESA temperature is -10. Yes. -240. I do have to write flight level 240 here. Okay, and we have -33 in the standard atmosphere, so we have 10 degrees less, so it's -43. Let's make init request here. Then let's get the tropopause. It's here. 319er, 318, 31320. Here's even 337. So let's say 340. And the ground temperature. So let's listen to the 80s of Zurich. Or what we also can do is we can get the 80s from here. Actually, weather for Zurich. Okay. We have 6 degrees Celsius. Good. Then the flight plan. Let's just check the flight plan with our charts and the flight plan. Let's move it here. we have Cloten 02, then we have the Degas 3 Whiskey departure runway 28, which is Cloten 02, then Zulu Hotel 552, then Cloten VOR, then direct to Momol, direct Kolul, direct Zulu Hotel 504, Zulu Hotel 525, to Degas, then Romga, then Bodan, then Alago, Minga, Suden, Tetko, Kovan, Kisek, Etasa, Xinla, Sukon, Supix, Spessart, Charlie VOR, Delta Fox 606, Delta Fox 610, Delta Fox 611, Delta Fox 612, Delta Fox 613, Delta Fox 614, 615, 616, and 626. 626 is actually missing here. So let's enter this one. Delta Fox 626. No. Let's also verify it with the charts. We expect the Degas 3 Whiskey departure. Which is this one here. So I have Zulu Hotel 525, which is this point here. Then we have turn back to Cloten with a speed restriction of 210 knots, which is here. And we have an altitude restriction at Degas of flight level 80, which is missing here. So alt constraints, flight level 80 or above. Like this, flight level 80 plus. Yes. So, and we don't have any other restrictions on this SID. That's good. So, and let's also check it with on the plan mode here to see if everything makes sense. So we depart here. The Dexter Whiskey to the east and then to the north, direct to Frankfurt. And here we have the arrival route to runway 25 left. It looks all good actually. The secondary flight plan. Let's say we will remain on the SID till Momol and then go back to, not this one, or is it here? No, like this, to Zurich. According to the wind, let's see, we have 2 to 0 degrees at 6 knots, which means we will take landing runway 14 for return. There's 14 with no star. Oh yeah, good. Runoff page. We can think Kloten makes most sense. And let's use Kloten on both sides. Use a course. So let's take the outbound course on V1 or on VOR1 and the inbound course on VOR2. So we have 252 on this side. And 231 is 051 on this side. So for the return, we'll use ILS runway 14. Which is India Kilo Lima. 111.75, yes, this one here. And course is 134, that's correct. We need B page, zero fuel weight. Here, sorry. So series fuel weight 60.9er. Let's see on the load sheet here. 33.4. And block fuel 661, 6.1 I think, yes. Looks good. Okay, good. Then performance, let's do the performance calculation. So actually we can now start with the boarding. Board now. Boarding should start soon. Anti-ice. Use engine anti-ice. Probably wet outside. Max off, no. Temperature is 6 degrees. And QNH, let's get the weather again. QNH is 1012. Second page. Choose config 2. Estimated takeoff weight. 60.9er. And this takeoff weight CG 32.1. Good. Hmm. Okay, let's do it this way.